Now we are finally on the last part of this series in which I discuss with you the different tourist train passes that you can use when exploring Kansai region in Japan. And for this, I am introducing to you the Kintetsu Rail Pass, which is under the Kintetsu Railway Company. And if you ask me, I would absolutely recommend this one if you want unlimited rides for exploring places like Osaka, Nara, Kyoto, Iseshima, and Nagoya. As for its validity, you have the option to get a 1-day, 2-day, or 5-day pass. By the way, it helps to note that the 1-day and 2-day pass only cover areas in Osaka, Kyoto, and Nara. And with that, here are some of the places that you can go to with the use of your Kintetsu Rail Pass. Now, of course, a trip to Kansai is never complete without a stopover to Japan's first permanent capital, Nara. It helps to note that there are a lot of railway lines that service here to Nara, but what you have to know is that here in Kintetsu, compared to JR for example, in order to get to Nara Park, it will take you 20 minutes, but from here, it will only take you 10 minutes. Speaking of Nara Park, this is a large park that includes many of the city's main attractions. But of course, the highlight would be the famous, adorable, freely roaming deer that number about more than 1,000. So here in Nara Park, there are more than 1,000 free roaming deers here. And it helps to note that they regard them as sacred. And once a year, they have to cut off their horns, basically to also protect the tourists, because the deers here can get quite aggressive, especially when you start feeding them. So there are times wherein they will use their head to nudge you, basically to just tell you to give them more food. And also, another peculiar trait that they have is that if you bow down, sometimes they will also bow back to you. The deers actually do it mainly as like an indicator to tell you to give them more food. But originally in their nature, they kind of bow to tell someone or other deers or people to go away, or also when they're angry. But I guess in the olden times when they see other people bowing to one another, and then these Japanese people will hand them the snacks, they kind of think that, oh, if I bow down, they will give me more food. So over time, of course, this behavior is now portrayed by these deers. So yeah, that explains why the deer bowed back to you if you do so as well. After you have some fun with the deers, don't forget to roam around the park to enjoy some of its other landmarks. Meanwhile, if you venture further out of Nara Park, you can also find Nakatanidou, an award-winning shop that makes traditional Daifuku mochi. And if you time your visit right, you can witness the owner do a fun and speedy mochitsuki, or the traditional mochi pounding ceremony. So good. You can see here the anko. The mochi itself has a distinct flavor of matcha, but it's not so strong. It's actually really good. Highly recommend. And of course, the show is quite fun. Now, there is also a key spot in Nara Prefecture that you should absolutely check out, especially during autumn season, and it is to Tanzan Shrine. To get here for free, simply show your Kintetsu Rail Pass to the bus driver before getting off. Now, I didn't manage to come here during its peak, but if you can visit here around the second half of November, you can see the surrounding foliage at its best, like what this picture shows. Before the day ended, I rode the Kintetsu train to Nagashima Station in order to witness the famous Nabana no Sato theme park. Once you arrive at this station, just ride the shuttle bus to the park, which you can ride for free by just showing your Kintetsu Rail Pass to the driver. Anyhow, right from the moment that I stepped out of the bus, I was in awe with Nabana no Sato. After all, it is one of the largest winter illumination displays in Japan. With over millions of LED lights that are scattered all over the park, don't forget to explore all of this theme park's attractions and gardens. The next day, I used my Kintetsu rail pass in order to travel to Mie Prefecture's town of Toba. And this is to witness the famous AMA, or Female Free Divers of Japan. From the station, they offered a free shuttle bus that I rode, and within just minutes, I reached the Hachiman Kamado Ama hut where I got to meet, chat, and eat with local Ama, as well as learn more about their beautiful centuries-old tradition.
All the ladies dressed in this outfit are still actively working as divers. They just take that flotation device, buoy, and they will swim offshore 400 or 500 metres and just dive wherever they feel inclined to dive. So they'll hold their breath. They're free divers, so they're holding their breath for approximately 1 minute. They can dive down to a depth of up to 10 metres. So they're basically diving and collecting a variety of different naturally growing seaweeds from March each year, and as the season changes they're collecting different types of seaweed. But right through until the end of summer they're diving for abalone. Now is the winter season, so at the moment they're diving for this particular shellfish, the sazae, it's called a turban shell, and also for sea cucumber. That's the outfit, the traditional outfit they would wear when they were diving. Nowadays they all wear a wetsuit because it just enables them to dive for much longer. So back in her day, they would start diving when they were end of junior high school, so maybe from about 15. Nowadays there's not so many young people that take on the diving. A lot of them have sort of like a parent, like a mother that will be a diver, or because we're living in the countryside, it's a sort of fishing village type of community.
Before leaving, the Ama even made me dress up in their traditional white diving costume. This was truly a fun and educational experience, which I wish you could also get to do whenever you're in Kansai region. So we are now here at Ise Grand Shrine, and apparently this is the most popular shrine here in Japan. One of the reasons is that the emperor usually visits here. In fact, just last week the emperor was here. And also another interesting about this place is that during New Year's, this is usually where Japanese people go to wish for luck for the next year. After my visit to the famous and sacred Ise shrines, I also stopped by Oharaimachi, a kilometer-long traditional shopping area that's filled with numerous shops and restaurants. For my first stop, I visited Okage Yokocho in order to try the most famous souvenir of Ise, which is the akafuku mochi, a kind of sweet which is like a reversed mochi or rice cake. Alternatively, if you can't visit the city of Matsusaka, then don't forget to sample the Wagyu beef of Mie Prefecture, which is the Matsusaka beef, in one of the shops that is found in the street of Oharaimachi. After all, this Wagyu beef tasted so good that if you ask me, it tasted even better than the world-famous Kobe beef of Japan. For the night, we checked in to Sheraton Miyako Hotel Osaka, which is not only centrally located as it is directly connected to a train station, but it is also one of the best hotels in the city that's perfect for business and travel trips. And with that, my Kansai exploration series has come to an end. I hope that this has helped give you some insight on the kinds of tourist train passes that you can use when exploring Kansai region. Besides, these train passes are so efficient, especially if you base yourself either in Kyoto or Osaka. Now, if you want to acquire more details or information as you plan your itinerary, just go and check my blog post about this by clicking the link found in the description box below. Overall, I wish you enjoyed watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye!